What's up, Planeswalkers? I am John, aka Orzhov Dunn, as some people call me in the Magic community. I am so proud to bring you another episode of the Hive Mind. This is the episode where I traverse the multiverse in search for other Planeswalkers, aka other YouTube personalities or just prominent members in the Magic the Gathering community. Today I am joined by a very special guest. This is Miss L from Another Mulligan. Thank you for joining me, ma'am.
Thank you for having me, dude.
All right. So, man, we met each other through the MTG Amino app. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, and so we kind of connected for our love of not just the cards, but kind of another special thing that's near and dear to our hearts. Some tasty beverages. So this is going to be a little different from last time. I've put the coffee away in a sense, but I have brought the Nitro Coffee Stout from Sam Adams.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm an avid coffee drinker, so
Very good.
I'm pretty stoked, right?
It's a good one. So I have a little history with this particular brew on another show that I might or might not co-host on this channel. We recorded an entire show. We drank it. We reviewed it. It was wonderful. And then the gods of YouTube smited my video down, and it never was to be shown. So I was so excited when you found the Nitro Coffee Stout. So now we could really give this beer the kind of screen time that it deserves.
Exactly. I'm pretty stoked. I was originally looking for the Lagunitas one that I mentioned to you, but I was still excited that I found one nearly like it. So
it is.
Definitely.
The Cappuccino Stout's nothing to scoff at either, but this one is a good close second. So without further ado, let's embark on our beer for breakfast. And that awesome, oh, I love that nitro like sound it makes.
Right? The nice fizzy fizz after, oh my.
And this one, you don't even have to really be a lady or a gentleman about pouring it because the nitro just doesn't even foam really. It's a wonderful invention.
It really is. I really like the way that it's pouring right now.
Right? Just, the smell, it makes me so happy. All right, friend. So whenever, we will give a quick little cheers and then kind of move on to why the other kids joined us today. We could just sit here and drink beer all day too. I'm cool with that.
Right. Cheers.
Cheers to you guys. Cheers to you other Planeswalkers of age in the multiverse. Oh, yeah.
God.
What do you think?
That Sumatran coffee undertone is such a nice subtle hint. I like the bitterness mixed with the sweet froth at the top, you know?
So you're going to be on all my beer reviews. You just said Sumatran coffee. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a mocha latte milkshake in a beer form. It's amazing.
It really is. I'm very picky on beers, and this is definitely something that I would return to.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that I get to return to my fridge 3 more times.
Right. Right.
All right. So, Elle, we're going to jump into some Magic the Gathering related questions because that's kind of what we're known for. But like I said, you could come on the show for any other kind of weird stuff that I do as well. But since we are here for Magic, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions. So what was your personal introduction to the game and what really drew you in?
My personal introduction happened probably, it happened probably about almost, it's not even been a year and a half since I first started into this. I took off really fast. I was actually cleaning up our house and I found a shoebox that said MTG on the top. And I asked my husband, what is this? And he goes, oh, it's Magic the Gathering. Got red and tried to hide it and I opened it and I was like, I want to play this. So I canceled my World of Warcraft subscription and started playing Magic the Gathering. And immediately I jumped into blue. That was the first deck that I picked up because he had all these different colors built. And I picked that one up and he goes, you don't want to do that. I suck at it. I don't even know how to explain it to you. It's just not a good build. And I was like, I want to play it.
Nice.
So I kept going with that, and now my favorite thing is to tell you no to everything.
So in life and in the card game.
Right, you know.
Yeah, so it is kind of a oh crap moment when the significant other does find the shoebox, but he lucked out because you wanted to jump right in. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is, and I actually lucked out too because he's been playing for, gosh, over 10 years now, I'd say. So I got to play with cards that were from Lorwyn, from Eventide, Theros. I've played with all kinds of these in between, so I've got to see and play with all these different mechanics and huge archetypes of Magic the Gathering that most people that start within the time frame that I have haven't even got to touch.
That's excellent. So
yeah.
So I've done some research on your channel or on the Amino page, and I have to say you have a very eclectic style. From art to story-themed deck text and even some Beatles references that I really, really dug. What gave you the inspiration for your MTG vision?
For the channel or just for Amino?
Just like your expressiveness, how were you able to kind of braid in your personality so eloquently like you've done so far on the app and what seems to be what you're going to be doing on the channel as well?
Well, I initially downloaded the Amino because I wanted to start the channel way back then. Every time I sat down to record, I'm hard on critiques with myself, and I kept thinking, this isn't good enough, and I kept swishing it. So I've got like 30 videos set aside that I swished and said weren't good enough, and I finally went, I want to teach other people how to play. I'm tired of people not knowing what's going on and asking for personal sessions. And if you do short videos, that's quick and to the point, it tells you what's going on with each card. People are more apt to listen. So that's where we started with that. Now with Amino, I noticed that my decks are kind of funky. I do weird stuff with decks, and I don't net deck, and I don't use other brews. I just go with what I've got, put together something. Mind you, we didn't play a format until I started playing. I started pushing my fiance into formats and was like, no, we're doing standard, we're doing EDH, we're doing modern, we're doing all this. So I pushed him out of his comfort zone with a lot of that too. But knowing so little about the lore, I had to create my own kind of background to it. So each deck that I made, I was like, I'm going to make a cohesive story where I'm the Planeswalker, as we all are, joining the other Planeswalkers and going through the multiverse with them and having my own experiences. And it's really been nice not knowing what the lore is for a little bit. I want to know more about it, but it kind of gives me the freedom to explore and say what I want to about each creature. So, like in my story, Teledestus and Emrakul.
Nice. So, and I'm kind of jumping around, but you seem to have a real affinity for the Chandra character. What about her like ignites your interest so much in that particular Planeswalker?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of, I guess I focus on her because the collective group of people, from what I felt out, really adore Chandra. From thinking that she's the most beautiful person they've ever seen in the multiverse to thinking that she's, the best because she has the hottest temper and she's just reactive and bold and isn't scared to make a move. Me personally, I can't stand playing red decks. I'm horrible at them. And I hate playing against them. My husband's amazing at them. So I guess I kind of ran with his affinity for Chandra and put that into my writing because he really enjoys her and Nissa. I'm a jealous person.
Awesome. Well, I'm more of a Liliana person myself. The wife, she kind of has a little Liliana thing going on, which good for me, right? Yeah. So I know that you're kind of outside the box thinking as far as formats go and decks go, but what is kind of your favorite format right now?
Oh God, right. I'm just stepping into modern really good.
Welcome to my wheelhouse.
Yes. And before I didn't really play a standard and I missed that. And going into modern, it's great. I hate the ban list, as everybody does. But I love it because I get to play with all the cards from all these different sets that I really enjoy and have missed in standard. But I love standard still because I feel like it gets pelted for a lot of stuff that it can't help.
Okay.
It is what it is, and it works with the set releases that it has, and it makes you creatively brew.
Yeah, excellent.
So I don't know. I'm kind of half and half, I guess.
I got you. What kind of decks or ideas are you, if you don't mind spoiling some stuff, are you kind of kicking around for modern right now?
Oh God, I am going to go Merfolk so hard.
Nice. Nice.
I can't help it. It's going to be Merfolk. Other than that, I might do a little bit of a black-blue mill because I do have a mill deck that I made in the past that I adore it. And I'm going to have to make that modern and take that to my local game store and wreck some people.
That's awesome. I would love to see the faces of all the modern people, all the modern players bringing their dredge and their all this crazy crap, and then you killing them with mill decks. I wish I could see that. It's gonna be awesome.
It's pretty amazing. It's wild to build a functional mill, but once I got it, I didn't let it go.
I played like serious like turbo fog mill in standard twice. I played it once when I had like a good green blue mixture. It was just like, it was all the fogs all the time and like some Jace memory adepts, and then it did so well and it pissed so many people off, which is great. And then the second time I did the whole Maze's End kind of, it's kind of that was more of a turbo fog, wasn't really a mill. But I love my favorite commander of all time is the Phoenix, the god of milling, basically from Theros, where you just put all the walls in with all the big butts and you just go crazy.
God, that's nasty. I love when you can find those nasty combos, especially for mill. Now, I know it doesn't mean much for a lot of people, but Consuming Aberration is probably one of those mill deck cards that I just adored seeking out and putting in. And I very rarely buy singles, but I saw that and I was like, oh God, I need this so badly in my life.
Man, you are my long lost sister, because I wrecked face with that in the pre-releases for Gate Crash, and people were really upset. People are very upset with that card.
People are still upset at the deck that I run right now. It's just that, you're Eldrazi and Jess going on, and it's got all kinds of different ways of milling you and getting things gone.
Right.
And I'm plus Jace is in there, and you just can't get any better than that.
Man, you're ingesting and you're milling and you're touching my deck. It's making me feel gross, right? It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
And the best feeling is when they try to mill you back, but then you pop that elixir of immortality and your whole thing resets, and they're still sit there with no library. Oh, I love it. Like
I said, you're my sister from another mister, because I've done that quite a many times, and I find. Woo! I guess the coffee stout's kicking in. Woohoo! Right. Well, this is what happens when you find each other on the Ravnica Cantina for a quick spot, but that's okay. So moving along, one of my favorite posts, and I'm sorry for reading this, but I wrote this at like 4 a.m. It's really long. One of my favorite posts from you is namely an addiction that commands your attention. And I just want to talk about that post real quick. So something that really stuck out to me is when you said that MTG at its core basically is a game, and people should be having more fun and embrace their mistakes. Why do you think that's such an outlier kind of theory at this point?
I think a lot of the time people get so caught up and so serious into what they're doing, and it's almost like a pissing contest, right? Like, you build a deck and you want it to beat everyone. And I can't help but think of like a Coheed and Cambria song where he's like, yeah, you got Spirit Kid, you're number one, you can go on living that farce, but nobody gives a fuck who you are.
Right.
And it's like, you have to remember that you're just another person. They're going to play another person after you. You're going to win. You're going to lose sometimes. just learn from the mistake that you make. You might have played a card at the wrong time. It could have been something simple. And you could have the best deck out there, but remember, you joined the game because it was difficult. You needed a challenge, and it was fun. And you love challenging your brain. So rack your brain and beat them next time. Don't get upset.
Well, couldn't have said it better, especially quoting Coheed and Cambria. I'm going to really nerd out real quick. I'm going to lose a lot of points and gain a lot of points with a lot of people. I used to base a lot of my, in my D&D days, I used to base a lot of my DMing on Coheed and Cambria songs. No one knew what the hell I was talking about, but it was great fun for me.
Oh my God, I was reading the Amory Wars yesterday.
Oh, so good. So good. I've spent many of work hour, no one at work watches this, right? Watching, on the internet, just kind of playing that kind of stuff in the background and Coheed theory and all this stuff. It's really, they could base like a Magic set in that world, and I could die a happy man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right
All right, so I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job correctly as an interviewer if I didn't ask the question. So you're a woman. Congratulations. How healthy do you think the female MTG community is at this time?
Okay. That's like a loaded gun question. I feel like personally it's been made too big of a deal. It shouldn't matter. I'm glad that there's women playing, but I'm glad that there's men playing too. I think people just need to play. Where it's back to the other subject, we're forgetting what it's about. It's about having fun. It's not about reading Twitter and going, there's no women in the pro tour? That doesn't matter. It just means that there were no women in the groups that joined. It's not a big deal. We don't need to go grab women off the street and force them to learn how to play Magic, and it doesn't matter.
Beautiful. No, absolutely. There is a disparity. There is a disparity for prominent men and prominent women in the community. But you do have your Gabby Sparts and your Aaron from Magic Mike's, Aaron Campbell, sorry, who's a big advocate in the LBGT community, which is great. And you see, kind of Wizards taking that kind of focus, and I appreciate that. I really do, to make sure that everybody feels included and feels welcome, and that's really the message that I want to convey. Is I think more women should play. Like you said, I think it should just be, if you want to play, just play, and everyone should be able to sit down at the table and have a great time.
Exactly, and that's what it comes down to. I respect Magic and Wizards of the Coast for doing what they have to do, and everybody should feel like they're included. I feel bad that people felt like they weren't before. I feel like it's always been a pretty open community, and that a lot of their stuff was maybe misinterpreted or misread, which happens very easily. Everything's text, so how are you supposed to convey emotion through that?
Awesome. So, Sweet Biscuits McGriddle Cakes, pal. So where can the good kids find you?
Well, let's see. You can find me on Amino now I changed to Another Mulligan. I used to be Tabletop Tales.
Okay.
You can also find me. I've got a Snapchat, a Twitter, all these things that I try to keep in touch with everybody to keep everyone in a close little group about it. And more than anything, you can find us on YouTube at Another Mulligan.
Excellent. Just tell me so you went from Tabletop Tales on Amino. What made you want to make the jump into YouTube with Another Mulligan?
Well, I really wanted it to be about Another Mulligan to begin with. I didn't have a name for Another Mulligan yet. So I went straight into Amino, calling it Tabletop Tales and going, okay, well, I'll get there when I find a name that I like. But I knew I wanted to do the YouTube channel from the beginning. I just couldn't figure out where and how it would go, and I wanted to get my stride right and figure out what I wanted the channel to be about, what makes us different, and what puts us in a different place than a lot of these other channels. Kind of like a coach, so he has his own thing. Everybody's got to find their own place. So
absolutely, yeah, and That's great. I've been in the community for a while, and this kind of seems like where I want to be at this point. You know, I've laid the cards down against quite a few talented people in my day. I've had some success. I've had some great failures, but at this point, I want to kind of take more of the historian role, and that's just kind of what excites me. So, like you said, you just gotta find the thing that really gets you going, ignites your spark, and run with it.
Exactly. Got to do it while you're still untapped.
Right. So, Elle, thank you so much for joining us here on the Hive Mind. Cheers one more time. I'm so glad to be able to crack a tasty beverage with you. And thanks for carving out a little time for us.
Oh, dude, thank you so much.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you again. And thank you again, Coach, for joining us last week. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes of The Hive Mind. I got some big news and some big guests coming up that we've already scheduled out, so I can't wait for you guys to see that. So until then, I'm going to be planeswalking to your plane, and I'll catch up with you in the multiverse. See you later.